as we continue to explore more of the features, let's go back to the catalog. Uh, One of the things you might notice that's different from the previous version is that the catalogs that we had before was divided into categories, whereas the catalog here seems to display just everything. Okay. Uh, the reason is we've gotten rid of categories by putting in a search feature, and the search feature helps filter everything else and leaving you what you want. When there's nothing selected, usually the software would display everything that's available to you. But let's say, for example, you started doing a search for a chair. As you are typing, the application is already filtering through some of its assets. So without putting the whole word chair, I can right away see everything that is a chair showing up. Let's say I were to put people, same thing would happen. I don't need to finish the sentence, and people are showing up. And then there are other ways to show people. I can say, I can search for, put in woman, and there are people that shows up, but they're women. So that's a well-defined search. So therefore everything is easily available to you without going to the drop-down lists of categories that we've once had because of this new search tool. This search tool also works under the My Stuff. My Stuff section is also personal stuff that are found through catalog. And of course, if I remove all of the filters, everything shows up. But if I put in a word, it filters it to what shows up under that tag, basically. And this is the way the software is going to work from now on. We find this a much faster way to get at items you want. Let's say you're looking for a certain manufacturer. You type in the manufacturer's name, and all of the manufacturer's products will show up. Okay, so this makes it easier. Also, under the same catalog, even though shapes are not catalogs, the first set of shapes are under this tab, and in the future we're going to put in all of more shapes, definitely, and we're starting with these. But there's going to be a whole catalog of shapes that are things that are used for perhaps two-dimensional symbols that are not necessarily things that can be used in 3D, but either way, they're shapes. And tools, we're also going to have more tools, but we're starting out with these 3 tools, and that's under the same catalog, and this is where you find them, under the catalog tab. Okay. The other usefulness of these search features is that even after you close your floor plan, whatever you search for last automatically stays up under the search feature. So if you come back another point of time and you notice Orbis is showing up, it's not because we're down to only those items. It's because if you look up the search field, you already see whatever you typed in last is still being filtered. So the best way to do is just type in whatever you want, event related stuff. So you type in events, and okay, everything having event in it is going to display. Outdoor, same thing. Whatever the search term is, you can play around with it and get to know how to find items. And of course, there are two ways to insert items to your floor plan. There's the typical drag and drop. You drag and then you drop. Okay. The other way, of course, is you click and it appears. But by clicking, it appears in the center. By dragging, you drop it wherever you want. But anything that appears in the center can also be dragged. Okay. And of course, rotated and moved. So this is what we have in terms of okay, one thing we have not talked about is grouping objects. Several objects, and I'd like to keep them together. All I have to do is toggle, choose both items, and here on this property panels, it only gives me option to group. Once it's grouped, it gives me an option to ungroup. So let's do that again. We group. Now it's grouped. That means everything moves together. And if once I no longer want it grouped, I click on ungroup. It's that simple.